Welcome back, guys. So in this video we're going to go over how functions work, and in this video they're going to be called functions, not methods, because these aren't functions inside a class, so therefore they are functions. Now we're going to go over how to declare a function, parameters, and so on, but we're going to do this in a different way that I've been doing the previous videos. We're going to do this in a demonstration where I attempt to find multiple items or multiple elements that are the same value in my array of fruits. So we're going to add into the strawberry to fruits. So, and we're going to obviously use a for loop that's not inside the function, that's going to be outside the function. But if you don't know what a for loop is, watch my for loops video. I'll put up a link on the top right hand corner. So let's go ahead and declare a function. So first we have to, well, actually I already started to do that. So let me explain this. So def, which is define, defines a function. So this says that I'm going to be creating a function now. Find duplicates is my function name. I'm going to take an input, a parameter name input, and my input is going to be of type string. Now this is a type hinting, it doesn't have to be type string. It could be input, could be whatever I want it to be, but the hint suggests that it should be type string for this function to work properly. Now I'm also going to be using an input list, and that's going to be of type list, obviously, and it's still going to return a number. So what we're going to do is, the idea is that we're going to go through, iterate through each one of these and send it to find duplicates, and that's going to be, so apple is going to be an input, and then fruits is going to be the input list, and then this function is going to go is going to iterate through all of these particular items in the list, and then tells me if there's a return of 1 or 2 or 3 or so. We should find one of everything except for strawberry because we appended it, so there should be 2 strawberries. So on the outside, we're going to create a for loop and send them to this particular function with whichever one we're on as a string, and then the whole list in general. And then on the inside, we're going to go through the same fruits array that we pass on to and see exactly how many iterations there are of said element value. So the way I envision of doing this is that when we get to apple, so the first outside for loop is going to get to apple, it's going to go ahead and pop, or let's say remove apple, and then when it removes apple, it's going to go ahead and send the new fruit into this array. So if apple is found again, then it's going to return more than 1, or let's just say 2. And then if apple's not found again, then it's just going to return 1. And then we know that apple was indeed a unique value. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So what we want to do inside this function is we want to take the string, right? So we want to take input and see if it's in the list. So if input is in, and I just use the word in, if input in input list, then return 2 or something greater than 1. If it's not in the list, return 1. Okay, so that's what my function does. My function has now been declared. So now we're going to go ahead and go through for fruit in fruits. Actually, instead of doing that, for fruit for key value in enumerate fruits if let's say, actually I should be doing this wrong, for index value in enumerate fruits. I'm sorry. So if value, or let's just say that we're going to work with we're gonna go ahead and send the value to the function. The function being is to find duplicates, right? So we're gonna go ahead and pop it off first. So remove. So fruits.remove, and we're gonna remove the value, and then we're gonna send it. We're gonna send the same value that we just removed from the array, from the list, into this find duplicates. So input is going to be value, and input list is going to be now fruits. Now remember, we actually removed it from there. So now if it's there, then it's going to return 2, else it's going to return 1. So let's say fruit count is equal to that. So fruit count is either going to be 1 or 2, which is what gets returned. So when I say return, it actually returns the value to this variable. Now return is different from print, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So that gets fruit count gets set there if fruit count is greater than 1. Print I've found more than 1, and then we're going to say value here. Actually, I believe this is how you do string interpolation in Python. Yes, that's what we're looking for. So this is called string interpolation. Let me just go over that a little bit. I'm doing string interpolation, where basically saying we're going to go ahead and actually print out this string, but we're going to take the variable value and input it into the string. So this is exactly how you do string interpolation in Python 3.8, I believe. I know it's definitely available in 3.8. It's not available in 3.4, and it's definitely not available in 2.7. So as long as you're using an up-to-date version of Python, this should work for you. So what this is going to say, again, for index value, so and so and so, fruits.remove value, then it's going to get the fruit count by passing that fruit in there, and then if it finds it in the list a second time after it's been removed, it's going to say, okay, the fruit count is more than 1 because that's what this returns, and so far that it prints this message, and that's it. So let's see if this works, and we'll find out exactly if anything went wrong. I found more than 1 strawberry, so immediately. So it didn't find apple, orange, pineapple, watermelon, or strawberry. So there you have it. That's exactly how you work with functions specifically. So you have the def name, and the name of the the def declaration, the name of the function, the parameters. This is how you do it properly, not just with. Make sure you have the type hints. It helps programmers a lot. So input was a string, input list was a list, and this is the return type. We've always been returning an int, and there you go. You have an int. If this wasn't any other language, you would be you weren't returning a type int, you'd be running into a compilation error, specifically in Golang or Rust. But Python, these are hints. These aren't meant to be you don't have to follow them. They're meant to be followed, but you don't have to follow them, and so therefore you can return a type string even though it's saying it to return type int. So this denotes what the return type is going to be. If anybody were to look at this function, and it's like, okay, I want to know what the code does. Okay, it's going to return a type int. These are type strings, so I need to provide it its strings, and it does this thing from there. A return. Now I was going to explain what the difference between a return and a print is. So if I were to say, so def my function and my input, and let's just say that's a type string, and it's going to return a string. I'm just going to return the parameter that I pass it. So some var is equal to my function, and my input is hello world. So some var is now equal to hello world. That's what return does. You call this function with a parameter, and then whatever this function returns gets assigned to the variable some var. Where print, if I redeclare def my function, some var is equal to hello world, print only prints whatever you give it. It doesn't actually, so now some var doesn't actually equal anything. It doesn't, the value doesn't get saved into the variable. That's what return allows you to do. So that's all I had planned for this video. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.